Hey, Luke and Ellis with you. Time for our ChevyDriveChicago.com NFC North preview. I just love the dislike that these two coaches have for each other. I'm the old guy here because I remember how much Forrest Gregg of the Packers and Mike Ditka hated each other.
It's not quite to that level, but
not yet.
You did like the fact that from day one, Ben Johnson was aware and wasn't afraid to name check him.
Yeah, he's the one that stoked the fire because Matt LaFleur is the one who wanted no part to do with this in the offseason until I feel like the season came along and then he had to start to answer more questions about it. Then he beats the Bears first time around. He's like, all right, you want to talk now? Now we got the upper hand and we can talk.
Well, I'll tell you what, as we get Tina's opinion as well, I had dinner with someone who had dinner with Matt LaFleur.
That's
and
shady talk right there.
Yeah, it is. But they talked about it, and LaFleur said, I was caught off guard as much as anyone.
They don't know each other. They don't have a relationship.
Like, who the heck are you?
I don't think they'll be going to Marquette games together.
No, they will not. What do you think,
not.
Tina?
No, I love that Matt LaFleur was caught off guard there. Again, Ben Johnson introductory press conference saying how much he loves beating Matt LaFleur twice a year. Well, now this is his chance come this weekend.
That's for sure. I want to go to Wisconsin, bring in Lily Zhao from Fox 6 in Milwaukee. Lily always bringing us great Packers info on First and North, seen Tuesdays, 9:30 right here on Fox Chicago. Hey, Lily, Packers go into this game. They're on a 4-game losing skid. But, man, they look awfully confident this week, talking about how they can't wait to end the Bears season, and they're upset about the Austin Booker hit on Jordan Love. Are they really that confident coming off this losing skid?
I think you have to be, right? You're not going to just kind of concede and say, oh, we have no shot against the Chicago Bears. I think every single Packers player, after they lost in Chicago, wanted to make sure that they made their way back to Soldier Field and to get one back against the Bears. And listen, this is a Packers team. Both sides are banged up, but the Green Bay Packers have certainly had their share of injuries to really key players in the season. But despite that, I think they are at this point the healthiest they have been all season long. The back half, at least, to play Chicago. They're going to have a couple key guys that were not in that Week 16 game that will be playing, and that's going to be really important. But listen, the guys are talking in the locker room as they should, but now they have to go back on the field and prove they can beat the Bears. It is going to be a raucous environment. I'm really stoked, guys, but I really do love the fact that the Packers are confident in this wild card round matchup because remember, they were the first 7 seed to beat a number 2 seed a couple of years ago. They have the chance to be the second 7 seed to do that again.
So Lily Zhao and I met each other for the first time in person at Hallis Hall on Wednesday because she came down to practice and was in the locker room at Hallis Hall. And I want to hear your perspective because you said you like the way that the Packers are talking. What were your takeaways from talking to Bears players about this matchup? Because I feel like they've been more tight-lipped about round 3.
You're right. They were a little bit more tight-lipped, and I appreciated that. Again, this is a team like you guys have talked about all week. They haven't been in the postseason in 5 years, but there are players in the locker room who have been, who were in Chicago. But they were very respectful, and you have to love their perspective. I love the locker room. It was just a nice change of scenery to kind of get to see, what you guys are able to do there on a daily basis and talk with guys who I normally don't get to talk to. But the confidence level is there. They trust Caleb Williams. They trust their defense to get after Jordan Love and make a difference. And so I really appreciated the other side and the perspective there from Bears players. And I just love hearing from those guys. And it was fun talking with Jonathan Owens, who's been on both sides of this thing. And he was like, as much respect as I have for the Packers and Jordan Love, like, this is my team and I'm excited to see them shine. So we'll see. It'll be really, really fun, guys.
Lily, injuries have certainly been a main concern for the Packers, especially defensively. You look at the D-line, right? No Micah Parsons. They have not been the same. Devontae Wyatt is out. Packers went and signed someone from the Giants practice squad. I believe Jordan Riley, he gets hurt as well. So multiple guys on IR. How concerned are you defensively for the Packers as they face this Ben Johnson offense and the rushing attack for the Bears?
Yeah, it's going to be a big challenge. I mean, credit to the Packers defense playing as well as they did for 58 minutes back in that Week 16 matchup without Micah Parsons. They played really good defensive football for 58 minutes, and then the last two, throw it out the window. It was terrible, terrible defensive football. But the fact that they are so banged up means that we could potentially see Trayvon Diggs, the newest corner from the Dallas Cowboys, earn a starting role on Saturday night. That's just what it is like in Green Bay when you were that banged up at that position. Keyshawn Nixon and Carrington Valentine are essentially your only two healthy cornerbacks at that spot. Nate Hobbs is on IR. Bo Melton, who played both ways, is on IR. So you're going to rely on a guy like Trayvon Diggs, and it's going to be all hands on deck. They're thin up front. So It's going to be youngsters like Colby Wooden and Warren Brinson and Nazir Stackhouse. I'm sure some guys that Bears fans are like, who is she talking about? Those are guys that are going to be tasked with stopping DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monungai. It's just the reality of it. But you can always credit Jeff Hafley, their defensive coordinator, for cooking up a really good scheme. But I think the number one thing for this depleted defense is if they can get after Caleb Williams, they've got a shot.
Lily, the last time we saw Jordan Love was at Soldier Field. The last time we saw Jordan Love in the playoffs was last year. Didn't go so well. What version of Jordan Love do you think we're going to see Saturday night?
I think for Jordan Love, it's going to be, he wants to be the best quarterback on the field. Credit to Caleb Williams and what this Bears offense has been able to do in the fourth quarter with 6 fourth-quarter comebacks. But for Jordan Love, it's the mentality of, I'm going to manage this game. I'm not going to turn the ball over. But most importantly, I'm going to stay upright. I think it's a lot on the offensive line to keep him protected and make sure he doesn't take any sort of unnecessary hit. But I think for Jordan Love, a lot of people talking about the rust factor of it. I mean, it's the reality of it. They were not going to put him out there in week 18 if they didn't have to. They have to keep him healthy, and that's just the reality of it. He's gotten a lot of reps in practice with the number 1 offense. So they're just hoping that that's good enough. But again, he's a quarterback who, in his 3rd year as a starter, is back in the postseason. He's been in the spot before, so he knows what's at stake and how to play. So I think we're going to see a really good version of Jordan Love, and one that will not be looking rusty on Saturday night.
Packers been talking a lot of smack about getting back at the Bears after the Austin Booker hit. Listen in.
A lot of the guys took that hit that he took a little personal, so I'm not saying we're going to go out there and play dirty or nothing like that, but we're definitely going to defend our brothers.
What a blessing to be here for me and my family. So I appreciate that, and we are not going to be done. So I will see you guys next week.
Yeah, I love his confidence there. Hey, Lily, do me a favor. Tell Josh Jacobs, tell Christian Watkins, who said he can't wait to see the Bears season come to an end, Hafley as well. Just listen, go out and play football. I don't know if you saw what Grady Jarrett said yesterday. I know that you did, Cassie, inside the locker room. He goes, we're playing football here. What are they talking about?
Come on.
I hope they're really caught up in seeking revenge against the Bears. I'll take the flags in the 15 yards if they are.
Yeah, they got to be careful with that, though. Listen, the tensions will be high, but the last thing that Matt LaFleur is going to tolerate is a penalty that is unnecessary. They got to just keep their cool. They have to realize what is at stake. It's one and done. So you can't have any sort of unnecessary penalties. Guys will certainly be jacked up, especially if one of their teammates gets hit in, a way that they didn't appreciate. So I'm hoping that they do keep their cool. It's one thing to talk in the locker room, but you got to just be smart on the football field. You can't have penalties that cost your team 15 yards or even more than that. So, I appreciate the guys stepping up for Jordan Love. But, I know a lot of people are saying, oh, Josh Jacobs is going to do something dirty if he can't. I don't think that was what he meant. I think it's if something does happen, they're going to stick up for their teammate. But I don't think they're going to be headhunting or anything crazy like that out on the field.
Lily, it comes out this week that Matt LaFleur might be coaching for his job in this game. If the Bears beat the Packers, do you truly believe he won't be back next year?
I think it's kind of, I was 50-50 on First and North. I said, I don't think whatsoever that he will be out, but if the Packers get blown out in Chicago, his seat's going to be really hot. But if you lose in a very tight fourth quarter game, I still think he's the head coach in Green Bay. But that being said, you're right. I think it's an audition for Matt LaFleur to prove to Ed Policy, who took over for Mark Murphy, that he is going to be the guy that deserves an extension, deserves to be the Packers head coach in the near future. I think Brian Gutekunst, the GM, will get extended. But I think Matt LaFleur is coaching for his job. But I don't think, though, that a loss, unless it's an egregious one, will have him out the door. I think this is still a coach that has gotten his team to the playoffs 6 years out of the 7 he's been in town. But that being said, the last 3 years, just one playoff win to show for it. So I think he's got to deliver in a big way on Saturday to keep his job.
Lily, thanks so much for the time. I know you're busy this weekend as well. Safe travels to Chicago. We can't wait to host you and then send you back with a loss.
I can't wait. Can't wait to see you guys. Thanks for having me on.
Don't miss a moment of Chicago sports. Hit subscribe and stay in the game. Highlights, analysis, and all the action from Fox 32 Sports.